פייג' 1 שאלתי?
It's in the back.
שלי.
It's like 6 something.
מה?
Yes. It is 6. It's in the, where is it? Days of Month section.
Let's do it.
662.
What? I believe you.
Did I steer you wrong?
I'm no doubt. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, it's very cool. Since age 12, you figured it out? Cool. It's in there. But if you need more, we'll get you more, baby. I wish to a certain extent, I wish I had perfect pitch. I have, so I
Audrey, I like your jacket. It's super sharp,
and it goes wonderfully with your shoes.
doesn't it?
Awesome. Audrey's jacket matches your shoes.
Oh, Audrey, I did not notice your jacket until this moment. It's so fancy.
It also
So low.
matches your dad shirt.
Well, that's.
I put that on? No, that wasn't on purpose.
Should we do this?
Were you trying to match? What were you trying to match?
Yeah, go ahead. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We're about to start Shabbat services. I want to invite you. I'm very intentionally not going to look into my right, but if you are sitting in the tables on the side, we invite you to sit in the chairs here inside the tent. We like to feel community. We like to feel that we are all sitting together. So come in, everybody. You can come with your drink, whatever you are eating. We're going to open our Sidurim. We're going to start our service on page 662. It is traditional during the month of Elul, the month that leads to the month of Tishrei, to the High Holidays, to recite Psalm 27. So we are going to sing from a little portion of Psalm 27. We're on page 662.
That's in the blue brackets.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. There are two things that we do during the month of Elul, maybe more than two. One is we recite Psalm 27, and the other one, besides for the last day of the month of Elul, what else we do? We blast the shofar every single day during the month of Elul, and today we have a bunch of friends here blasting the shofar with Robert and with Fred there, guiding our friends so many others can participate in the mitzvah of blasting the shofar. And to some extent, the mitzvah of blasting the shofar is the mitzvah of trying to listen to a call that tells us to wake up, to open our eyes, to open our hearts. That's the purpose of this time of the year. That's the purpose of the high holidays. And so, hoping to be able to open our eyes, to open our hearts, we will enter this Shabbat, the lighting Shabbat candles. You can find the blessing for Shabbat candles on page 120. I'd like to invite Emma and Ever. אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for bringing the lights of Shabbat, the candles of Shabbat. We'll now turn our theory into page 130. So if you were in 600, well, if you were in 120, so you can go easily to 130. Page 130, between the brackets, we start chanting the Mizmorim, the sounds of Kabbalat Shabbat. Stand up, walk with joy, with Rina. אישנו נקדמה פניו בתודה וסמירות נהרי הלום. Page 131.
Shir Hadash, Shir
Page 132, Adonai Malach Tagel Haaretz, Yismechu Ihim Rahavim. Adonai Simcha Shomer Nafshot Chasida. ורסלו על הצדיק ולשרי לב שמחה. Light is song for the righteous, for the seekers of a path of righteousness, the foundation of simcha, of joy. their actions. On page 133, מזמור שיר לאדוני, שיר חדש, כי נפלאות עשה. Shabbat invites us to recognize our routines, the things that sometimes we take for granted in our worlds, in our lives, as what they really are. Plaim, niflaot, fantastic, wonderful things. As we try to enter this Parasan time, we try to, on one hand, separate from the days of the week, and at the same time, bring our weeks to conclusion. I invite you to take just a second to think about some of the plaim, some of the niflaot, some of the wonders, those of your routine, those of your daily life. We're on page 134. Turn our theory to page 136 for Psalm 29, Mizmor LeDavid.
Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom. Adonai yos le'amo yitzeh. Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom.
As we turn our Siurim to page 138 for Lechadodid, for the poem that stands at the middle, at the center of our Kabbalat Shabbat. We are invited to think of Shabbat as a bride. We are invited to think of Shabbat as a majestic presence, as something that when you see it, you can't ignore it. We spend so much time in our lives trying to ignore things that are actually important. And we don't really think about that with those words. We just ignore them. And then we realize that there are things that cannot be captured, cannot be held by or through objects. Time is one of them. And that's Shabbat. Shabbat is time. The Shabbos bride, the Shabbos queen, is that majestic presence of a time that is different, that counts differently. So I invite you to think of that presence and to recognize that presence and to let it change you, to let it touch you. We're on page 138. Wake up. תבושי ולא תקלמי, מה תשתוכחינו, מה תהמי, באך יחסו עניי עמי, ונבנתה התהלתי לילה לילה. בשלום עטרת ועלם, גם בשמחה ובצולם, תוך אמוני העם סגולם, קוראים עלה שבת המלכה. Shabbat Shalom Mevorach, everybody. We'll take a moment to acknowledge each other's presence before we move into Mariv. We invite you to make eye contact with people that you don't recognize and say good Shabbos to each other. We're going to turn our Sidurim now to page 140.
Shir liyom haShabbat, mizmor shir. 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 Shir liyom haShabbat.
Samer לשמחה עליון. להודות לאדוני, להודות לאדוני, וסמר לשמחה עליון. הלוואי להגיד בבוקר, בבוקר חסדך, אמונתך בלילות. להגיד בבוקר, בבוקר חסדך, אמונתך בלילות. We'll now turn our Sidurim to page 144 for Chetzi Kaddish as we will transition into Tfilat Ma'ariv Shel Shabbat. יתגדל ויתקדש שמך רבה, יברח חילותה וימליך מלכותה, וחייכון וביומכון וחיי בכל בית ישראל. בהגהלה, בהגהלה ובזמן קריב, באמרו אמן. ידש מרבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולם וימיה. יתברך וישתבח, מתבהל ותרומם מתנשא, בהתהדר, בהתהלל, בהתהלל, שמי קודשם. אלא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, להעמיד המראה. ואמרו, page 146, please rise for ברכו. Please be seated. We'll continue our service on page 148.
Please join me in the English. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other, Adonai Tsebaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
We're on page 150.
Page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emet, Adonai Elohechem, Emet. We'll continue with the silent reading of page 156. Emet, בגלל כוס, וקיים עלינו כי אדוני אלוהינו. When your children witness your presence, they praise your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moshe, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you, lifting their voices together, say, Mi chamocha ve'elim Adonai, who is like you, O God? As we realize, as we think on our ability to overcome obstacles that feel impossible, things that are holding us back, we realize the importance of being able to look forward and to step forward with faith. And from that place in which we reach for that strength, for that motion in our lives, is that we connect with song. We have been singing this nigun for some time already, but I don't think that we introduce it formally. So this is its formal introduction. It has a name. We're not going to share the name right now. I'll give you a name for this later. In the meantime, as we think of redemption, as we think of moving from one place to another, we're going to learn a new melody, and hopefully we'll start moving within our hearts. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Israel. That's not the one we are doing. We're almost there.
So many nigun.
This is the moment of the High Holies. You see, you're still in Egypt, and all of a sudden you realize you need to move. You need something else to move, and here you are. Once again, and this time think about what needs to be moved and what rhythm needs to be moved in your life. Page 160. ישכיבנו, אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, בעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ישכיבנו, אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, בעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. שכון צאתנו, אוהלנו, בחיים ושלום, מעתה ועולם. The bottom of page 160. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. And we say, particularly during this time, ועל כל יושבי תבל, blessed are you Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, over all the people of the world, over the city of Shalom, the city of Jerusalem. And we say amen. Page 164, 62, sorry. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, את הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, לדורותם ברית עולם. We're on page now 164 for Tfilat Amidah. Please rise. Adonai, Sfatai Tuftar, Rufi Yagid, Rufi Yagid Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Continue in silence. ¿Te quedas y yo no subiré eso? No, no le hago. Tengo que tener que no coche. Invite those that are still davening Tfilat Amidah to continue doing so. The other ones, those that have finished, we are at the bottom of page 180. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי, לפניך אדוני צורי בגואלי, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. And I invite you to read together in בעברית, in Hebrew. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. And we find that peace. May we be builders of that shalom, of that peace. We'll now take a moment to acknowledge those that are dealing with illness in our community. If you have a name that you'd like to share as we go around our circle, we invite you to do so. And after that, we will read some names from within our community. We are thinking of those dealing with illness in their bodies, in their souls. We are thinking of those dealing with addictions. And we are thinking of those carrying grief.
Scott Van Gundy, Dave Stahl, Carol Rosenberg, Batya Peters, Sandra Goldberger, Elise Musin, Mira Engel, Victoria Spiller, Berdine Coven, Abner Ben Aharon, Sandy Corman, Francie Pack, Maurice Siegel, Lori Shaken, Debbie Pink, Robin Leiter, Davida Rosenbaum, Phil Hathaway, Rich Zabridger, Jim Rosenfeld, Judy Sutton, Ellen Kashik, Bernice Paris, Brant Kotowski, Ivor Barber, Don Barnett, Alex Chapman, Shelley Goodman Taub, Arlene German.
We're on page 371. To all of them, to all of you, to all of us, רפואה שלמה והחלמה מהירה, a complete recovery, and soon to experience well-being. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
You saw that? The guitar attacked me. Twice. I want to share with you let me move stuff. 1 second. want to share with you one of my favorite Hasidic stories, which basically means that there is a risk I have shared this story with you in the past. I think I didn't. I really think so. But if you heard it from someone else or from me, so it's a privilege for you. And if you haven't heard it before, well, this is a fantastic story, and it's about the two brothers, the famed Rabbi Elimelech of Lipsensk and Rabbi Susha from Anipoli. They offer wonder together, disguising themselves as beggars. One time, while traveling, they were accused of stealing, and they were took into a jail. After some time of being in that prison, in that jail, Rabbi Elimelech decided that it was the time for praying Mincha, and so he started to get ready to pray the afternoon prayer, Mincha. And when his brother, Rabbi Susha, noticed that, said, "Dear brother, sorry to break the news, but you cannot pray Mincha. This place is unfit for prayer because we have a pail to be used as a toilet in the middle of this room, of this cell, and therefore this place is unfit for prayer," which totally broke the heart of Rabbi Elimelech. He started crying and crying and crying. And so his brother, after seeing him for a couple of minutes crying, said, "Rabbi Elimelech, why do you cry, my friend? Why you cry, my brother?" "Because I want to pray Mincha. We are commanded to pray Mincha." To which Rabbi Susha asked him, "Don't you know that the same God that commanded you to pray Mincha also commanded you not to pray in a place that is unfit for prayer? You have today the privilege of fulfilling the mitzvah, the commandment of not praying in a place that is unfit for prayer." And all of a sudden, the face of Rabbi Elimelech lit up, and he got so excited. And the two brothers started to dance and sing for having the privilege, for having the zchut of fulfilling the mitzvah of not praying in a place that is unfit for prayer. To which the guards, they were noisy, they were singing, they were dancing around the pail. To which one of the guards asked the prisoners, like, why are these Jews dancing around the pail? To which one of the prisoners said, "Well, I don't know. At some point they got all emotional about this pail, and that made them very, very happy, and they started to dance around it." To which the guard said, "No way. If that makes them so happy, I'll take it away." So he took the pail, and then the rabbis, the brothers, were able to daven, to pray Mincha, undisturbed. Now, this story teaches us a very profound lesson. Joy is a search, and it's not dependent on our circumstances. Joy is a search, and it's not dependent on our circumstances. It's a path we find, we embrace, but fundamentally we search for. And it is possible to search even in very difficult moments. Living with kavanah, with intentionality, is being aware of that search. It's about recognizing the mitzvah we can do, even if it's not the one we originally planned. For Rabbi Elimelech, the joy wasn't in achieving his original intention, but in accepting the mitzvah he was given at this time. Living with kavanah means being upset for not fulfilling the mitzvah of praying mincha, the afternoon prayer, but still finding joy in the mitzvah that prevents you from praying in a place that is unfit for prayer. Because ultimately, that is also a mitzvah. When circumstances shift, we move forward, not held back by what we couldn't do, but motivated by what we still can do or achieve. In this Torah portion, Parashat Ki Tavo, we learn about a set of blessings and lots of curses. Lots of them. And about the curses, the Torah says, Uba'u alecha kol haklalot haele, all these curses will come upon you, tachat asher lo avata et Adonai Elohecha besimcha, betov levav mirov kol. And I will translate that, don't worry. All these curses will ultimately come to you because you did not serve your God besimcha, with or in joy, and with a glad heart in the abundance of everything. The Torah warns us not just about disobedience, right, not fulfilling the mitzvot, but about the dangers of living without joy or purpose. Even if we follow all the commandments without joy, we risk losing our way. The real question becomes, how do we live lives of purpose and furthermore find joy even in difficult times? The hardships we experience aren't just random obstacles. When we face these challenges with kavanah, with intentionality, these challenges push us to look beyond the surface and reflect on how to grow with them and through them. Rabbi Arthur Green beautifully describes this, reflecting about the Levites who carried the Holy Ark almost for the 40 years, almost, because we didn't have the tabernacle for the entire time, but almost 40 years, 38, I think, of the journey of the Israelites in the desert. When asked how heavy the ark must have been with those stone tablets inside, a Levite replied, no, it wasn't that heavy. The ark carried us. The burden, when carried with intention and purpose, didn't weigh them down, it lifted them. Similarly, in another story, Rabbi Green shares about a rabbi who was seen carrying water for baking matzot in the Holy of Pesach, and in the I'm going to give you the context for this. It's a little Jewish law. You're not supposed to take water from the well in Passover because there might be chametz there. So you're supposed to go to the river, no matter where the river is. So that's the context for this mitzvah. And so this rabbi is coming, it's an important piece of information. He's coming with these buckets of water, and there's a younger man who is going with a horse and said, can I help you? Can I take these buckets instead of you? And the rabbi says, I have once a year the opportunity of fulfill the mitzvah of bringing water from the river to celebrate the Holy of Passover, and I'm going to give that to a horse. These stories remind us that hardships are real. But if we fail, and if you need to remember something out of what I'm trying to tell you, remember this. Yes. If you fail to make a narrative for yourself in which the entire story is not only hardships, but also the opportunities for personal growth, for development, and for finding meaning. If we fail to create those paths, if we fail to create those connections, then we enter a cycle of believing that things are just wrong and that we have no ability to have positive experiences. And so agency goes away. And so our belief in our ability to make a difference, forgetting the world, in our own lives, goes away. And why would you do any mitzvah or do anything that is positive if it doesn't matter? That's the formula for the curses. That's the formula for the curses, because life circumstances from time to time will be hard. There's no way around it. Life circumstances will be hard. And then there's a chance that we create a cycle of negativity led by the Yetzer Hara, by the evil inclination, but there's also a chance in which we can create an alternative narrative. And this Torah portion, the idea of working and doing mitzvot with our hearts and with simcha, with joy, is about the possibility of creating an alternative narrative. The month of Elul and the high holidays are an invitation to realign and find balance. In Rosh Hashanah, we declare Ayom Arat Haolam. Today, the universe is pregnant with opportunity. And we don't mean that there's a chance that you win the lottery, okay? That's not the point. It's not about a miracle. It's a reminder that each day we have the chance to stand up, to wake up, to listen to the call of the shofar, and to try to make our ways through with purpose, and to nurture our kavanah, our intentionality, our direction. Living with kavanah is what gives us the platform to find joy even at difficult times. If there is no kavanah, there is also no joy. Kavanah precedes intention, precedes joy. It doesn't just happen. You need to be searching for that. We need to be searching for that. It's about being mindful of how we move through life, understanding that the challenges we face can be opportunities, once again, for growth, not just burdens. And so, let us, in this special time of the year, identify the pale. That pale that is in the middle of our eyesight. That obstacle that is holding us back. That challenge that is breaking our hearts. And without forgetting that pain, let's try our best to find kavanah, direction, intention. For now. Only for this moment. And maybe, sooner than we think, we will find ourselves dancing around it and bringing more good actions, more positive actions, more mitzvot, and subsequently, more blessings into our lives. Ken Yeh Ratzon, may it be God's will, but mostly our own will. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We'll continue our service on page 586 with Aleinu Leshabeach. We believe there are kids in some place. We give them candy when they come and they open the ark. We might give them, oh, here you are. Like, you're here, Lily. And you're here, Jacob. So we're going to turn our Sidurim, and if they're here, please, can you help them out? Page 586, please rise as we will open the ark. Maggie will open the ark. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם בגורלנו ככל העמונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים עד קדוש ברוך הוא. In the middle of page 590, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם באל, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ.
ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
ושמו, ושמו אחד. I'm going to close the ark first. I can do. You may be seated. Give our friends a moment to take candy. It's important. Someone was asking me a couple of days ago, how do we feel about the kids making noise? We feel good. We're okay with that. The worst situation for a synagogue is not to have kids making noise, right? Yes. So we feel very good about it. We'll now take a moment to acknowledge mourners among our congregation. If you are during the first, we're going to first read the list of yortzites this week, and then we are going to acknowledge those mourners sitting here in our prayer circle.
Remember those who died within this season and years past: Bob Harrison, Charles Joseph Rath, Eugene Reiser, Fanny Friedman, Herb Aaron, Herbert Sherman, Howard Deutsch, Julianne Falk, Rose Roth.
If the microphone is off.
Oh, no, it was on. It's off. Okay. I will say those again. Bob Harrison, Charles Joseph Rath, Eugene Reiser, Fanny Friedman, Herb Aaron, Herbert Sherman, Howard Deutsch, Julianne Falk, Rose Roth.
If you are during the first 7 days of mourning Shiva, please rise and share with us who you're remembering. And so if you are during the first 30 days of mourning Shloshim, if you are during the cycle of the first year of mourning, please rise and share with us who is remembering. Thank you. Okay. Scott. Say again. Say again. If you have a yortzeit this week, we invite you to please rise and share with us who you're remembering. Tofik.
The congregation offers our condolences to Chris Paul on the death of his father, John Joseph Paul.
Now you can support our fellows who are standing or sitting, joining us with your voices or your hearts for Kaddish Avelim, Mourners Kaddish on page 598. Itgadal ve'itkadash shemei Rava. L'alma divra chirute, ve'yamlich malchute. בחייכון ובמכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, באמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולמלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירם בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. יש למר רבה מן שמיה, בחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, ועושה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. May the memories of your dear ones be always a blessing in your life. יזכרם ברוך. You may be seated.
It's my pleasure to invite, I think it was Molly, right? To do announcements. Where did Molly go?
We'll make a few announcements. Next week, Slichot, RSVP. I don't know if you know, but we have High Holidays also. RSVP. It's all in the website. Kristen made it beautiful. Don't worry, we got you.
Oh, here comes
And here's Molly. Okay. It's okay, Molly. Don't worry about it. We have half of the announcement in. So you know that there is slichot, right? You know that there is also high holies. That's the most important things you need to know. There's one more thing you need to know until Molly is here. Is tomorrow we are going to be screening the movie, the screens before the silence, that was produced by Cheryl Sandberg. And it's yet another opportunity to bear witness to the horrors of October 7th and to keep our siblings in our memories.
Hi everyone, I'm sorry I'm late. I always like to jump up and make sure the kids are quiet during that part. So I was over there shushing kids. Because I agree it's wonderful to have lots of loud and boisterous and happy children participating, but not during Kaddish. So that's what I do, I get up. So then I forgot I was the person to do announcements. I think the rabbi did a great job. I don't really have anything to say. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Molly Guerrero. I'm on the board. And I also wanted to share something. I've had a really terrible week. I've had a terrible week at home. I've had a terrible week as a mom. I had a terrible week at work. And yesterday, I was just so spent. And my kids said, but tomorrow we're going to Shabbat. And I said, yeah, we are, and we're going to have fun. So I'm just so pleased to be here. I really needed this. And I'm so grateful for all of you and to be part of this community. And the rabbis, the Torah, could not have been more perfect for me. So thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. We'll now continue with Kiddush. We have to let Molly speak more often. We'll continue with Kiddush, which the Kiddush cup in Shabbat also symbolizes joy. We invite you to rise. We are on page 124. 22. ויחול השמיים בארץ וכל צבאם, ויכל אלוהים יום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ava u'ratzon inchilanu zikaron le'maaseh bereshit ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים קיבלנו בחרת אותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה ורצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Chaim, as we have shared the blessing for joy for wine, we'll now take a moment to share blessings with each other. We invite you to stand next to your chosen family, your friends. Make sure that nobody stays alone as we share with each other Shabbat blessings. We tell to those we are creating with in the world, those that we are bringing with love into this world, to our friends, to our family, to our children. We say, may God inspire you to be like the loving parents of the house of Israel. ישמכם אלוהים כאפרים וכמנשה, כשרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה. We say to all of them, to all of you, Yibrechem Adonai beish melechem. May God bless you and protect you. Yair Adonai panav elechem bichunekem. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elechem ve'asem lechem shalom. May you find within you God's presence always. And may God gives you the strength, the courage to forge your narrative, to find joy, to find simcha, to find connection in difficult moments, to find purpose when it's difficult to see, and to find the inner peace that is the foundation to build all those things. Be'asem lachem, be'asem lanu, shalom. Adonai os le'amav iten. May God gives us the strength to be builders, to be creators, to bring the blessing of shalom. Adonai yevarech et amav b'shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Mevorach everybody. Ay, 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 la, 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 ay, la, 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 la,